last but not least, we are going to get into Issa Rae, Hollywood personality, writer, producer. I don't think she's directed anything. I'm not sure though. Uh, who is pumping up her chest to demand respect in Hollywood for black entertainment, black TV, black arts. The article says black television specifically, but I'm pretty sure she's talking about black entertainment overall. So she's had some choice words about Hollywood's treatment of black art throughout history and how black TV specifically is well overdue for more respect. So this says Issa Rae demands Hollywood pay more respect to black TV. Issa Rae recently offered a keynote speech at South by Southwest for her upcoming HBO docuseries Seen and Heard and made a strong plea to the Hollywood industry. She spoke on how networks and higher ups historically used black audiences and abandoned them as soon as it was convenient, although she recognized that some folks might see this as a conspiracy. Nevertheless, the insecure multi hyphenate. What does that word mean, by the way?
Man, that's twice in one day.
Yeah, like I keep seeing that. I'm gonna look that up. The insecure multi hyphenate spoke to other black entertainment powerhouses like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Ava DuVernay, and more in order to highlight these injustices. Most importantly, she seeks to highlight these stories and show how black television in particular faces an uphill battle. It's one thing to say it, Issa Rae remarked. You might have heard someone say that in the history of television and the history of particular networks, but to have the actual creators, showrunners, and writers chronicle the history of that is undeniable. We wanted to make a comprehensive history and showcase with evidence that this is how they built the success of their networks on our backs, and we almost don't have anything to show for it as a result. It's tragic, and history repeats itself. Elsewhere, she also spoke on DEI rollbacks from United States President Trump and the general pushback to diversity initiatives. I feel like the diversity initiative needs a better publicist. The anti-DEI, the immediate retraction of any efforts to level the playing field and focus on our stories, I think it comes from a big misunderstanding and a fear. In addition, she also spoke on how the entertainers she spoke to for Seen and Heard all have unique and amazing stories that deserve the spotlight and will inspire more black creatives. Meanwhile, Issa Rae is finding a lot of success in her recent entertainment ventures, such as One of Them Days box office success. The SZA and Keke Palmer fronted film is just the latest step in Rae's dynamic and compelling career, and now she hopes to use her platform for more conscious and community-focused action. Hopefully, this will eventually lead to a big paradigm shift in the future. So there you go. More respect for black television, and major studios and networks have used black audiences for their benefit and then gotten rid of them as soon as they could. So do you agree with what she had to say there?
I understand where she's coming from. But I think that I don't think it'll be heard. So of course, you would like to see more representation on television of real things that really represent us. But I don't think that's going to be happening. If it does happen, it'll happen at the same rate. The mindset that she mentioned of use it when it's convenient and then drop it. So I guess if something really happened and everybody's upset and the country's upset and it's like, oh no, we gotta diversify our channel.
Right.
Yeah. They'll do that. And then after season 2, when everything died down, they're just going to just can the show. And yeah, man, it's like, so I think the key, and the multi-hyphenate, it says a person, especially a celebrity with several professions or skills. So,
okay.
Were they talking about the booty clapping cop? That was a hyphenate?
Oh, that's what the article said. Yeah.
He's not a hyphenate.
Yeah, I know, right? Based on that, definition. I would not call that lady a multi hyphenate.
Ah man, they just I think this is a new thing. They probably using AI to write these articles now. So yeah, man. But but I think the approach that needs to happen when it comes to wanting to see certain levels of representation is the Cat Williams route. And we cover Cat Williams starting up his own little studio.
Correct.
For better or for worse, the Tyler Perry route. Just having your own studio and making your own content. But to ask Hollywood uh to
To care.
to care,
Yeah.
to create a show, have a black cast, have it be black centric, have it not be offensive, you know, just have it just be a regular show. I think that's asking a lot, because we've got a ton of Hispanics around here. I don't see any Hispanic shows, uh, you know, just doing their thing. Um, what's that show? I finally saw, my old lady. She watching uh, what's these Indian people? What's it called? Delhi Boys.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's
Yeah.
not watching it. It just be on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey man, Indian people got their own. And I know the Indian community, not trying to be any type of way about that, but I know they going crazy. They pulling up in their Teslas. That's all they drive around here, bro. They all drive Teslas. And that's not they all drive Teslas. It's incredible. But yeah, they probably pulling up in their Teslas to go watch Delhi Boys. And so I'm pretty sure, there's different demographics. There's plenty of different graphics in this country. But not everybody has their own thing going. I don't know, black people have been here for a long time and we represent all that good stuff, man. But I think if you really want to see that type of stuff, and she's being a beacon for that in Hollywood, where she is a person who's talented enough to present something and have a show developed or whatever developed and presented, and she's part of that. We just need more people of her talent to be out here doing that if she wants to see it in the Hollywood front. But to ask these studios to give a damn, I don't think that's something that would actually happen. So, but what are your thoughts on what Issa Rae had to say about more diversity and and more representation for Black people in Hollywood, especially Black TV?
Yeah, you can't legislate desire. So you can it's the primary reason why I don't think DEI is effective, because essentially you are trying to create an institutional policy which dictates that by rule you have to abide by certain things in an effort to foster diversity. And people are going to do that, I believe, halfway, because if no one really cares about diversity, they're just going to do it for the sake of checking off boxes. At least that's how I see it, which is why I've always never been the biggest fan of like corporate DEI, actual institutional policies.
Mm-hmm.
Not to make this about DEI, but just to make just state my opinion that I don't believe you can legislate desire. You can't make people care.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear where she's coming from, and oddly enough, I do to a certain extent respect her, because the show that she had on HBO years ago, Insecure, I used to watch that show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe that show, I don't believe that I was in the target. I don't believe that I was that show's target demographic. I believe that show really was made for Black women.
Mm-hmm.
So me being a man, I don't think that I was in the target demo for that show. But I watched it nevertheless because it depicted Black people who were just living life. So you know what I'm saying? Nobody was selling dope. Nobody was murdering anybody. Nobody was going to prison.
Ain't that crazy, bro?
Nobody was running. Nobody was running from the cops. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was scamming, money laundering, scheming. Like, it was just a show with Black people who were college educated, who were trying to navigate life and trying to figure out how to have successful friendships and successful relationships, successful marriages, how to be successful parents. That was what the show was about. So I watched it because I appreciated what it stood for.
Mm-hmm.
She was the primary creative force behind that show.
Mm-hmm.
She wrote a lot of the episodes. She was the creator. She was the main star of it. So because of what it symbolized to me, I used to watch it. If what she is suggesting is there needs to be more attention to paid to black programming like that, I'm 100% with her.
Of course.
But if what she is saying is blanketly more attention needs to be paid to all forms of black entertainment, no matter what, because we just need more attention paid to us, I can't all the way rock with that. In my personal opinion, I can't all the way rock with that because I personally don't need to see more powers and BMFs on TV.
That's what it's gonna be.
That's what you know what I'm saying. So
More pay that
look,
one.
I have my own personal issues with those kinds of shows, but I understand that there's a place for them. So I'm not going to sit up here and say there needs to be none of it. But what doesn't need to happen is that's the majority of black programming.
Mm-hmm.
So if her saying that is in a roundabout way suggesting that we need more room for more stuff like that, then I
Mm-hmm.
would have to disagree because I don't think we need more of that. You got two different powers. You got a BMF. There's a couple of other shows where it's black people, going to prison, selling drugs and murdering and doing all
Family
that.
business.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. I think that there's enough of that. I think that there's enough of that. And just like I am apprehensive when it comes to the music, as I have aged and gotten older, because of the danger that I perceive to be inherent of the idea that that's synonymous with black culture. I think the same thing goes on with movies and television as well.
Yeah.
Where if there's enough of that kind of programming representing the diaspora that is black people, then you will have a large portion of our population believing that that is culture. And I think that there is one thing to suggest that that is an aspect of culture. And I think it's another thing to suggest that that is culture in totality. So in spirit, I get it because, I used to watch her show. I got respect for her. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say she's made public comments that people go at and she's done certain things that people go at. That's fine. But I believe that what she did with her show represented what I believe I would like to see in terms of having a more balanced representation of black people in media.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, all we got is the lack of balance in representation when it comes to music and a somewhat lack of balance when it comes to the representation in TV. Her show ain't on no more.
Mm-hmm.
It's done. So I don't, I'd have to go through the list to try to find
Right, ain't
the
nothing.
the programming where the majority of the cast is black. But I'm pretty sure when I find it, it's going to be a lot of trauma TV.
Is this what it? That's exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
It's going to be trauma television.
Yeah.
And her show wasn't trauma television, you know? So if we're going to see less trauma vision and more just regular stuff, you know what I'm saying? Black people in space, black people that are
Oh
wizards.
man.
Oh yeah, like black people doing time traveling, black
Oh
people,
man.
like black people doing Game of Thrones stuff. Yeah, I'll take that all day. That's fine. But black people where it's like acrimony, child support, baby mama, baby daddy stuff, family beef, drugs, guns, murder, prison, extortion. I don't think we need more of that. I don't think Hollywood needs to give that more respect, is what I'm saying.
I agree.
But if it's going to be more balanced, I'm all for that.
Yeah, man. And it's real sad, bro. I was trying to think off the top of my head, man, but I guess you can count on I guess 1.5 hands of all the quote unquote classics in our community. I don't know any of them that doesn't have anything to do with crime or drug use or you know what I'm saying, something that's just trauma. I don't know how many feel good just you know movies that we have. You know what I'm saying, where it's just that was a good movie. You know, um, It's unfortunate. And just thinking, man, uh like that was like my central point is that if we want to see that stuff, somebody has to make it themselves. And with stuff like Tubi and all these other apps out there, whatever, you just gonna have to make this yourself and do your own thing. But the people, they've been they've been Stockholm into wanting to watch crime TV.
Yeah.
And much like in our last topic, bro, when you said that, nobody's telling these women to do this to themselves now. Now they're willingly going out there and sexualizing themselves. And now we're in a position where, these studios don't have to say, let's make a slave movie for you. Or, hey man, let's go ahead and make a movie where you guys are selling dope to each other. Now they're just going out there and making their own hood classics where they're just selling drugs to each other. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, trauma-based entertainment.
Traumatainment. Yeah.
Yeah, traumatainment. Yeah, that's a good call right there. Yeah, we should coin that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's too much of that, bro. It's to the point where, I'm trying to watch something and I'm like, oh wait, it's it's about crime. I can't watch it. My family, they was watching the Kevin Hart show on, I think it was on Peacock or something. I think it was Kevin Hart, Samuel L. Jackson, other people was in there. And it was based on, stuff going on in the 60s or something, the 70s.
Yeah.
And I saw the first episode, man. And it was captured well, costumes done nicely, people acting good. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this black people all over the place doing their thing. All right, yeah, I can dig this. But it's about crime. So then once I figured out it was all about crime, I was like, I don't want to watch this. Y'all not going to hook me into this, with all these big names, but y'all playing the same tropes. Why can't these people just be doing good at life? I guess that's not cool enough, or I guess that's not entertaining enough. So yeah, man, there's a lot of things that have to go by the wayside in order for us to have stuff that really authentically represent us. But yeah, man. But in the meantime, bro, there's traumatainment, and yeah, and that's pretty much we've been typecast as a people.
Oh yeah, that quote from 50 Cent is gonna live in infamy on this channel.
Bro, I'm gonna say that forever.
Authentically representing authentically representing Black and Latino communities, raising Canaan.
Man, I know a lot of Latinos, man. They don't live like that.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's one thing to say it's maybe a part of it or an aspect of it or whatever, but to say that authentically represents those entire communities, such a wild thing to say. But it's like I said before, he believes that. You know what I'm saying? He believes that. Shouts out to, there's a show that comes on. It's called Abbott Elementary. I don't know if you heard of that.
Oh yeah, Abbott. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is another one of the same ilk as, to me, Insecure. Not because the shows themselves aren't covering the same subject matter, but in terms of what it represents. Like, it's a show where the vast majority of the cast is Black. You know what I'm saying? It's like majority Black, and then there's a couple of white people on the show, but the majority of the cast is Black, which is the inverse of what we typically see, which is the majority of the cast is white people, and then you have a couple of Black people peppered in there. But that show Abbott is majority Black people and a couple of white people, and it's just a funny show, and it's a show that's filmed the same way that they did Parks and Rec, or The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like there's no laugh track, and there's no studio audience. It's just a comedy where the laughs and the comedic elements in the show are entirely dependent on good writing and good acting. So I appreciate that show because, it represents exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So if Issa Rae is saying Black TV and Black programming needs more respect from Hollywood, and you're going to use that kind of show as an example, I'm rocking with you all the way 100%. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not trying to say do away with all of the traumatainment, but right now I believe we're dealing with an imbalance.
Yeah.
It's just like with the music. It's just like with the music. The
Yeah.
music is imbalanced because the music industry is purposefully mainstreaming ignorant rap.
Hmm.
And there's non-ignorant rap that exists, but it doesn't get mainstream.
No.
So why not mainstream both? So it's the same. It's the same with TV. I feel like we're not dealing with a situation where something needs to go entirely. We're dealing with an imbalance,
Yeah.
and everything is the best version of itself when there's balance. So if that's what she's talking about, I'm with it all the way 100%. But if
Hmm.
it's about giving us more powers, more BMFs, more family business, more what's another one? The Shy, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
More The Wire. And like look, shouts out to The Wire. Great show, but it was consistent with what we're talking. It was
Yeah, it's crime,
traumatainment.
man. It's crime.
Yeah, it was traumatainment. So we're already dealing with an imbalance when it comes to that stuff. So we need to dial some of that back and showcase all the other stuff and make more of the other stuff. And that I'm all here for. Everything else is whatever.
Yeah, 1,000. So, hey, man, shout out to Issa Rae. I didn't watch the show, but back when it was out, all my homegirls, they watched it. They raved about it. They supported her. So from afar, I took her for a talented woman, and so I support her from that level. I don't get too much into her, but I've respected her from what peers say about her.
Yeah.
So shout out to her and keep doing your thing out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, I legit watched it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I used to watch it. It was appointment viewing for me
Hmm.
because it was one of the only outlets that I had to see something like that in entertainment,
Hmm.
where it just wasn't shenanigans. So
That's
I appreciated it. I did it. Yeah, that show was for black women. I feel,
hmm.
but it was as close as I could get. You
Nah,
know,
yeah.
it
That's
was the
it's messed up, bro. That you know what I'm saying, that we gotta do that.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Not to say
yeah,
that, we can't watch it, because living single for all intents and purposes was considered for women, but everybody watched Living Single.
right,
So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But hey, man, yeah, we need more stuff out there. So for all my black creatives out there, we need you. And
yeah,
we don't need another ghost. We don't need another power. We don't need another family business.
yeah.
We need a unique idea. Let's give us some Negroes from outer space, please.
Why not? Why
Yeah, let's
not?
let's do that.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's still on or not, but there was a Star Trek show. It was one of the more recent Star Trek shows, and the main character was I forget her name off the top of my head. She's a black woman. She was also on The Walking Dead, and
Mm,
she was like the main protagonist on the Star Trek show. So I
mm,
thought that was dope. Like I've seen black people on Star Trek before, but never being the main character.
mhm.
And so she was the main character on that show. I thought that was pretty cool too. Also, shouts out to House of the Dragon. Anybody out there who's a Game of Thrones fan, House of the Dragon does have a lot of melanated people in the cast, which I also think is pretty cool because you got a lot of melanated people in that show riding on dragons and doing fly shit like that. So shouts out. I also think that's pretty cool too. But I still think that there's a lack of balance that we need to work towards fixing because the
Agreed.
majority of this stuff is still traumatainment. So but yeah, shouts out to Issa Rae, man. I think she's a talented chick. She's a little quirky and weird, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
Yeah,
So
man. It's all
yeah.
good.
But yeah, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and close things out. Another fantastic edition of the Conscious Approach channel on YouTube. Major shouts out to everybody who tuned in, and major shouts out in advance to everybody who's going to check us out when we upload these individual videos. Um, Shouts out to N8C who chimed in on the chat. Much appreciation to you, big bro. And yeah, check us out: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. Download us on podcast whenever you can. Check us out. We certainly appreciate the support. And if you have not already done so, and this is your first time checking out any of our content, please do you boys a big old solid. Hit that like button, leave a comment, let us know where you think we went right or wrong, and subscribe to the channel so that you can get all of the notifications whenever we publish new content to the channel. We certainly appreciate the support. as we continue to rock and roll and kick this logical content out. As I always like to say at the closing of every video, have a mind of your own. Think for yourself. Don't be a group thinker. Stay away from these BBL clad sex workers.
Lord.
And next year hopefully will be a better year for my Miami Heat, because we're losing to teams like the Charlotte Hornets.
Chicago?
Yeah, that's the other team I was trying to think of. We're losing to the Chicago Bulls and the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets, who have the third worst record in the entire NBA, and they beat us at home. So I don't know what we got going on, but we need to get it together. But yeah, that's the end of my spiel. Check us out, like us, follow us on Instagram, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. And the name is Dogon SS, man. Skr. And you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS, at YouTube, DraftKings, MySpace, Facebook, TikTok, all right, Snapchat. Hey, man, if there's a social media platform, Dogon SS is out there. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow, and all that there. And as I say on every podcast, all right, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player. And don't let anybody get you off your pivot. And like JV Wynn said, man, especially them BBL'd up models. All right. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. For everybody that already done did, you know what I'm saying? We're eternally grateful. You know what I'm saying? And if you guys are just checking us out, man, for the first time, man, like, y'all see how we get out, bro. Like, y'all watch other people or listen to other people, and you know what I'm saying? They out here kicking what the Joneses say. You know, but we're out here actually thinking for ourselves, you know, and we don't always agree with each other. You know, we do have different minds. We will have differing opinions, but sometimes, man, the truth is so hard to deny that we're both on the same page on things. And honestly, it's the same page that you're on. Yeah. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, man. And follow us along on this journey, man, as we crush all of these milestones out here. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we've already surpassed 1K. Now we're on our way to 1.5. So help us on out and hit that subscribe button, y'all, because we out here and we do this weekly. All right? So, again, man, the name is Dogon SS. More rings than Robert Ory. We'll see y'all in the next episode. Skrr. Yeah.
Y'all stay safe, man. Until next time, we are signing off. Peace.
Man, go Canes, man. Out the blue. We so many months.